Hey, everybody, welcome into the Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 178. I'm your host, Expat. We've got the full crew with us this week. So my co-hosts, Burley of Burlerman Gaming, Turn-Based Carl, Fubu87, and Leah the Hatless. Hope all of you are doing well. Were you guys able to hear the music in the intro there? Because on my
No.
end, I couldn't.
No.
Sorry.
No. Okay. Couldn't hear anything. That's weird. Yeah. So another restream mishap. So apologies
We'll
to
chalk
everybody
that
there.
up on there.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah.
Don't worry, folks. You're not getting deaf. It was a problem with the restream. Your
Technical
health with your
sound.
ears.
Yeah.
Unless they are deaf and they didn't hear that either.
It's weird. So. Yeah. So how was your guys' weeks? So another sweltering hot week over here in Japan. How about for you guys? Burley, how about you in Canada? Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's warm. It's summer. Heat is here.
Mm-hmm.
It's low
It's
80s
weird
It's
here.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird here. Like, you wake up in the morning, it's sunny. Then you go in the afternoon, it's cloudy. Then at night, it's night, but it's hot as all hell. It's so hot at night. It's really amazing, man. I work with air conditioning,
Mm-hmm.
and the air conditioning is not working. Well, it's working, but it's not effective. I don't know, man. It's so weird. I think I'm going to August and I'm going to die with heat, man. This is going to be bad.
I thought you were going to say, and at night the sun is out. You're not going to believe this, but no. It's just
No. It's night. At night, it's night.
Well, Fubu, my recommendation is to jump into those those hot pools that were in the last episode of Star Wars: The Acolyte.
Actually, that's the coldest water in the island because it's
Oh, really?
outside and it's cold as hell. Look, I'm going to use my master's degree right now, okay? Listen to me. They call it volcanic pools, but they're not volcanic. They were made by millions of years of waves crashing in, okay? I know it's volcanic rock, but it's not made by volcanoes. The pools were made by the sea. Just what the content is volcanic rock, but it's not volcanic pools. It's natural occurring pools that were made by the sea. But it's not as sexy, so they say volcanic.
I see. Okay.
I mean, technically they're volcanic, but we're not going to get into that debate right now.
Oh.
Now let's talk about games.
Yeah, well, we
Yes,
got
please.
some hot volcanic discussions to talk about here in the arena today. So, yeah, we got a great show for you. So, welcome on into the show. So, we're going to be talking about PlayStation Portal. We're going to be talking about Bloodborne, a game that maybe is going to get a sequel, hopefully in the near future. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Nintendo. There's some news coming out of Nintendo this week, and our topic of the show is Game Pass. So we will be talking about that later on in the show. So anyway, welcome on in, everybody. So let's go ahead and jump in. Of course, each and every week we talk about some of the biggest news stories in the world of video games and game development. So in our first story here, let me go ahead and bring it up. So talking about the PS Portal. So we got some news about the Portal this past week. So it's currently the best-selling accessory in America. And my question, I'll start with you, Burley, because you gave me this story to talk about. I know you and Fubu have the Portal. And a shout out to the Iron Lords podcast. We talked about handhelds. I was asking them if they thought we would be getting a Vita 2 at this year's Tokyo Game Show, and they all thought no. And that probably, in most likelihood, that if we do get any kind of device, it would be a Switch type of device, or something along the lines of like the ROG Ally or something like that. But
You're not going to use the Vita name again anyway.
exactly. Well, yeah. But I just threw the name Vita too. I mean, so something along the lines of like a Vita. But so Burley, is with the Portal. I mean, yeah, it's really successful. But I mean, what is there that they could enhance with this device? I mean, moving forward with it.
Yeah, like this has surprised me that it was the best selling accessory last month. Like that actually really surprised me because, as I said, I have one. It is a niche device. You need to already have a PS5 to have it. You have to have a good internet connection wherever you're at and where your PlayStation PS5's at. So it's like a really small use case for this device, but it's surprising the sales on it. Now, as for what they could do to help, stuff I'd love to see, guaranteed there's a Bluetooth chip on the actual chip on the board. Enable Bluetooth. I'm not spending $200. Like the earbuds, their PlayStation earbuds, are over 250 Canadian, and then when you go to tax, it's about $300. It's like no, and then to get just if you wanted the headset thing here, it's $129 before the tax. It's like 150 something. It's like no, I have good headphones that are Bluetooth. That if you gave me Bluetooth, I would be using Bluetooth. I know it would help the draining the battery quicker on the device. That's okay. Like they have been doing more and more stuff with features. They're adding and they're adding in a way you can change the battery meter. That way you have a percentage instead of the whole, the 4 little lines here. Yeah. So.
I see. Fubu, your thoughts on this because you also own a portal.
Yeah, so I always admit when I'm wrong. I'm not afraid of that. I thought that this was gonna flop really, really, really bad, considering there are a lot of alternatives. Like you can get a gamepad and just connect your phone and do remote play on your phone. You can use it on the Steam Deck. Like I also do that, and when you use it on the Steam Deck, it's as big as the PS Portal, and you don't have the hindrance of being forced to use PlayStation accessories. Like I use the Steam Deck, I connect my Bluetooth headphones. I listen there, I play there. Everything is good. I'm really surprised that it's doing this well. It's very niche, like Burley said. But hey, I like to be wrong when it comes to gaming because I want it to be a success. What they can do to improve, I don't think they can do a lot more because that's the device. There's nothing else to do with the device. The only thing that I think could be something interesting, but maybe it's not technological possible, is you download, let's say, a chapter of a certain game, you put it on the storage, a memory storage, which I don't think it has. But if you could put that chapter on the storage of the same portal, and you could play that part of the game offline. Because again, you can take it everywhere with you, but you need an internet connection. And if you don't have an internet connection, it's just something to have on your hands.
I see. Leah, your thoughts?
I'm surprised as well. I didn't realize there was such a demand for a very limited portable device. I don't know. I don't have one. Basically, I just plug in my PS5 and play. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like in here, it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. Like I don't know how it's coming out in Portugal. I think they're just pushing the PlayStation like the main console, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, Carl, I mean, we've got the portal here. Do you foresee PlayStation coming out with another dedicated handheld, or do you think they're just going to move and to go along the lines of the hybrid that Nintendo basically came out with and have something that you can plug into your TV and then after that pick it up and then play games wherever you want to with it?
I think everybody's going to do that. And at this point, there's no reason not to. Like the technology is just pretty ubiquitous now. Every device you have, your phone, like can be plugged into a screen, and you can get the the full view of whatever you're doing on there. So like it's just a matter of putting this probably, I assume, relatively cheap at this point tech. I found it weird that I feel like Nintendo's not going to do another like light model at this point, because I don't really know that was really valuable for them to just take that out. Like, we'll see, but yeah, I mean, like that's the trend. People want that, and it's a nice option, whether or not you use it that way, you know. And it doesn't even need to be that easy dock, like because you just plug a HDMI cable. Even if it's probably not gonna be that, it has to be like a different version of it, but something smaller.
Yeah.
True.
So yeah, they'll probably. I mean, there was a rumor a while ago. I don't know how serious that was, but I think Microsoft is going to have one. I think Sony will have one, and what those look like, we shall see. But it's clearly a market for it, and people want these devices. And this portal selling well, I think, shows them that like there's a market for being able to play your games that you already have, but not on your TV, because there's a growing and aging group of gamers who don't necessarily have access to the TV all the time, right?
Yeah. I know, like the day that I leave with my girlfriend is going to be like, I want to see something on Netflix and I want the big TV. Like, yeah, I'm not going to fight you, honey. Go watch. I'm just going to sit next to you and I'm just playing it here. So have fun. And that's what's going to happen. And Carl's right. Carl's completely right. And then you have kids. And I noticed this as, I don't have a child yet, one day soon, I hope. But I do notice that some parents don't have the patience to take care of their kids. So they'll put the kids in front of the television, make them watch cartoons, Dora the Explorer or whatever. And the guy will be like playing on the dad or the mom will be playing on the Vita 2 or PSP 2 or whatever. And the kids stay put and you can enjoy some gaming time.
These two situations are exactly why I've been playing that Zenless Zone Zero game on my phone.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one, man.
I think it's a fun game. I enjoy it. I like what Mihoyo did with Honkai Star Rail, so I tried this out. But I put on something for my kid on the TV, and I'm like, all right, I'll play a little bit of this game on my phone right next to her. But my wife wants to watch something that I don't really care for. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, watch it. I'll half pay attention.
The Bachelor, right? That's what people watch. The Bachelor.
Yeah, for what was the one that we watched? Love is Blind.
You got to watch The Boys on it. Yeah, there you go.
Well, yes, that I cannot have on in front of my kid.
Oh no, never.
You mean that show's not child friendly?
No way.
Last episode, they were teaching you had sock puppets and singing a song. What's not child friendly about that?
It's barely adult friendly.
Oh goodness. All right. Well, we're going to stick with PlayStation just a little longer here. So our next story talking about Bloodborne, because Bloodborne has seen a boost in player numbers. So since the Elden Ring DLC has come out. So this is from over at Gaming Bolt. So as per a report by True Trophies, based on a data pool of over 3.1 million active PSN accounts across the month of June on PS5 and PS4, Bloodborne saw a 57% increase in its player count, narrowing it down further in the final week of the month following Shadow of the Erdtree's launch. Bloodborne's player count saw an 11% increase, making it the 65th most played PlayStation title that week. So, Burley, I'm going to start with you again, man. Do you think that this is going to, if not already, make From Software start to continue, or if not begin to work on Bloodborne 2?
I'm sure they're going to get a nudge from Sony, because remember, Sony owns a small percentage of them. I can't remember the percentage of FromSoft. So I'm sure they're seeing the numbers rise up on Bloodborne. We already know FromSoft would love to put Bloodborne on PC, but have pretty much said it without saying it's Sony. So I don't think Sony's going to go for the PC port, but I think they may be like, you know what, it's time. Hey, what do you got? What projects you guys got? Because you just finished Armor Core, you just finished Shadow of the Erd Tree. What else do we got coming? Yeah, let's start planning for a Bloodborne 2.
Fubu, what do you think of that?
Well, I think people going to play Bloodborne after the Elden Ring DLC, it makes a lot of sense. But because I still think that Bloodborne is peak when it comes to Souls-like, because everything is good from the combat, the environment. Has a little bit more story from the others, if I recall it right. When it comes to porting it to PC, I don't usually like to dwell in rumors because again it's rumors, but I did see some news a few weeks ago that they are considering porting the game to PlayStation 5, not like a full remake, but no, the FPS and all those things. They're trying to
PS5
make a
update.
PS5 update. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, bro. Thank you. That's the right one. And I think that when they do the PlayStation 5 update, they'll wait a few more months and then they'll release it on PC. Because if they release the PS4 version on PC, trust me, mods are gonna make that game so beautiful, and then no one will want to buy the PlayStation 5 version. So that's why I think it hasn't come out. And if those rumors that I saw it's true, I think first PlayStation 5, the upgrade, and then they'll release it on PC, and then the mods can do whatever they want because the game already will look very beautiful.
PS5 Pro version, Fubu. Yeah.
PS5, yeah, that's it.
So Carl, I mean, what do you think of these numbers, and do you think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that maybe there's a lot of new players that are now a part of the PlayStation ecosystem that are jumping on and playing Bloodborne for the first time because of Elden Ring?
I don't know. I mean, it's the Souls fans. They play Elden Ring. They probably like blow through it because they're they're crazy, and people are obsessed. They put so much time into this game that they're like, I need something else to play, and they go back to Bloodborne or something. Yeah, that's common. People are really into something, and then they go back to for example, I reinstalled Honkai Star Rail just because I was playing Zenless Zone Zero, and it's like, let me go back into that. I missed that and check it out a little bit. But then I quickly was like, oh boy, there's just so much that's changed since I've played, and I don't know where. I don't really want to try to figure out and get back into it. So I didn't really put any time into it. So this isn't gonna last, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know that it means they should definitely do a new one. Obviously, there's a demand for it, but I told you my idea, which was then to just do the whole, Dark Souls to Demon Souls idea. Just make your own multi-platform similar game, and why bother? To make sequels to this, platform exclusive game when what you're doing right now is controlling your own destiny and putting the game where the hell you feel like it.
Yeah. Leah, your thoughts on Bloodborne? Have you ever played it? And the possibility of us getting Bloodborne 2 this generation.
First of all, hi Marunga, hope you're doing well. I said hi in the chat. I haven't played, I don't really know the connection. Is there a connection between Elden Ring and Bloodborne? Why is one pushing the other? Is because Bloodborne is in the PS Plus? I don't really see the connection between the games.
No,
or is it just because it's a Souls like?
Yeah,
it's just because it's a Souls like. Okay.
Yeah, and they say that Bloodborne is one of the best ones. Elden Ring probably is better, but Bloodborne is the peak when it comes to this type of game style.
Yeah, Elden Ring was the best of the PS4 generation for sure. Yeah, and then you could argue that Elden Ring has just picked it up with the PS5. So
yeah,
I see. I don't like Souls games. I think life is already hard enough. Difficult enough. I like my games to be easy. Unpopular opinion, I would say.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Maybe one day, now that I have the plus, I can try it. Maybe I'll give it up in like the first 5 minutes. We'll see how it goes.
It
You
takes a
won't last
special.
3.
It takes a special type of person to play those type of games, man.
I see.
Really, I mean,
Agreed.
and it's because I want to love them. I mean, I want to love them. I mean, the just the art styles in these games are so beautiful and all.
Oh yeah, they look stunning.
Yeah.
But it's
But-
just the fact that, yeah, I mean, you die like a million times in these games, and it takes a special type of skill to master. So yeah, it's
When I bought the PlayStation 5, I bought Dark Souls, which was one of the launch titles. And this was 4 years ago, and my girlfriend, to this day, she keeps going, "Why haven't you finished Dark Souls?" I'm like, "One day, don't worry. One day I'll do that. One day, but I have the time. I'm playing other stuff. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a guy that I know from Twitch, which Merlin knows, which is Soulstraw. The guy's crazy about these types of games. He's just going to carry me until the end. That's what I'm going to do. Soulstraw, help me, please."
Carl, it's interesting, From Software, it's like a special studio, and the type of games that they make here, especially in the PlayStation ecosystem. You don't really see that too much with Nintendo. They're more family friendly games and all, but on the Xbox side of things, I mean, could you see one particular studio that would make these games for the Western player in particular?
What came to my mind as soon as you said that, Ninja Theory, I think would make sense
Yeah.
to make a game like this.
No.
There's so many though. Like that's the thing. You don't need to, having it's not like Sony made it, right? Like it's From Software.
Yeah.
It's their development.
Yeah.
These games are this genre, right, is very crowded right now, and there's some success, right, with some of the clones. Liza P is a good example.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah.
But the From Software formula is obviously still special. What they do.
Yeah.
There's that Flintlock game coming. That's also Souls-like type game. That's actually this month on Game Pass too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know how to make Leah play a Souls-like game. I know. I have the right one. A Legend of Zelda Souls-like game where you play.
Oh yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called
Mature Link.
It's called Tunic, and it exists.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I'm
There you go.
having nightmares with that game, man. I'm
The
having
game's so
nightmares.
good.
I know it's really good.
Tunic's really good.
Yeah.
I actually
I like
beat that game, although I had to use a little help in that.
Yeah. All
I had
right.
to because I didn't feel like beating my head against the wall.
Well, speaking of Nintendo, let's go ahead and move on to the next story, guys. So, it looks like Nintendo is never going to use generative AI in their games. So, they pretty much came out and admitted that they're not going to be going that route. So, yes, Nintendo president. This is from over at PC Gamer. Furukawa Shuntaro-san said that the company was not planning on using generative AI technology for its games. In a recent investor call, Furukawa-san's caution stands in stark contrast to most tech and gaming companies, which are either enthusiastically pursuing generative AI or leaving the door open to do so in the future. And he did mention in this, when he talked during this investor call that, it's basically about the intellectual property that is so important to Nintendo when it comes to, saying no to generative AI. And for years and years, I think most people know how Nintendo has been so protective of its intellectual properties. and they've tried to squash mods and everything else in between. So, Burley, I'll start with you on this one. What do you think of Furukawa-san's comments, and what do you think of Nintendo taking the mantle of saying no to generative AI?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that they were going to say no to that, because if you think of Nintendo and you think of their games, it's all about the art style and the style of design that you can feel that they wanted to do. That's the thing. Nintendo for the last how many years that they have not been. They're not graphically the most impressive, the highest in tiers of graphics. But when you see one of their games, you can pick it out and see that's a Nintendo game. You can know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Fuba. Yeah.
I know. I was see if someone else was saying. I'm gonna go a little bit different, and I'm gonna use an argument that I used a few months ago when we were talking about Square Enix, and they were gonna pioneer this. You remember? I think we talked about this in January, and I said, and we were asking. I think the question at the time is, will others follow? And my reply at the time was, what people will do, what other companies will do, is wait and see how it happens with Square. We've seen that it's been a flop with Square, so no one else is following. If it was a huge success, it was making a lot of, or not making, but saving a lot of money on Square, I'm telling you, Nintendo would go right behind them doing that. So they're like, it's flopped on Square Enix. It's this AI stuff. It's flopping because there was, I'm blanking now on the name, but this financial company in the States that did the prediction, and AI is not as profitable as they were predicting. It will take I think it's like 3 trillion to start making AI more profitable, so people are staying away from it. And because on gaming it has failed on Square Enix, all the other companies are not following, because if it was a success, trust me, Nintendo would not say not the first one, but they would follow on the same steps as Square.
I disagree, Fubu. I think Nintendo is the wise company in here because AI is absolute madness. The moment you step into AI, you're feeding the machine, and the machine doesn't care about your IP, your secrets, or anything like that. There's been a huge scandal because Photoshop now has an AI proper to the software. And basically, if you create something on Photoshop, it will be immediately shared with Adobe for feeding their AI, and that includes Photoshop, PDF, Acrobat, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
basically, you
read that.
have sensitive files and information that are automatic shared with Adobe without people like realizing or really wanting to do that, and that is like a hot mess. Now imagine
Yeah, but
Nintendo like
on that case, just stop using Adobe. Use a different, similar program that
no,
doesn't have
but
that.
imagine an AI that could just go rogue or people hack into it, and you have all the secrets from the Nintendo exposed out there. It's a huge security risk. Like they're not gonna do that for something they don't need. They have a good team, they invested in, they believe in their team. If you're using AI, basically you say you don't believe in your team, we want something fast because you guys can't do it. I mean, it's a bit harsh,
How did
but
you
kind of
pronounce that? How did you pronounce that? Adobe.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Adobe.
Is it
I
not
thought it
a
was.
Adobe?
I thought it was
It's
Adobe.
Adobe.
Adobe. Yeah.
It's Portuguese. It's Portuguese.
In
Okay,
Portuguese,
I was
we
gonna
say
say,
like
It's
that.
I was gonna say yeah, because I mean I'm the old school guy here, and it's like Adobe. Yeah, it's what I remember. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
Carl, your thoughts on this generative AI and Nintendo, saying no to it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. And personally, I don't really see the value in using it yet. Maybe that'll become apparent at some point when someone else starts to use it in some way that seems interesting, right? And then it all depends on what you do with the technology, right? It's not just creating art, right? You know, there's the voice stuff that they did, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Nintendo could benefit from that because they don't put voices in their games. So through, you know, choice or just not wanting to spend the money, I really don't know.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you.
Yeah, but maybe one day that. But also, I honestly think Nintendo would probably do something really interesting with it because they do a lot of like those weird programs, games like, you know, if you think about like Brain Age, right, and 1-2 Switch, and even like Nintendogs, some of these other like, weird sort of variety type games that they make, and you could see Nintendo's creativity do something interesting, right, with AI. But who knows? And this doesn't mean they'll never use it, right? They're just kind of saying we don't have any plans to do anything with it right now.
Yeah.
And honestly, like the dangers of it, I don't know that. I think it really depends on what you feed these things and what you do with the software, right? Because it's not, you know, people talk about using it for like, say, NPC dialogue, right? I mean, there's not really a danger in doing that. That could have value if you could have characters that understand what you're actually saying to them and can remember things that you've said before and come back with responses that make more sense, right?
Yeah, but I think AI is not that developed yet. I think that's the crux of the issue, is that it's still pretty young. It's still learning, still making a lot of mistakes. I think there was some
Oh yeah,
news
it always makes
recently that like
mistakes.
they had to shut it down because it became evil, and it was like gonna attack the system or something crazy like that coming out of a movie. So I think it would be really hard to create an AI just for the NPCs. Like if you create one, you kind of have to integrate it in all aspects of your game. Same thing with like a game, like it's a software that kind of has all these branches out. You can separate it from the game that executes the file.
You definitely can actually. I think people have a misconception of what AI actually is. This isn't really artificial intelligence, right? This is highly advanced machine learning algorithms, but they are
Yeah,
programmed to do specific things, and they act a specific way. And you can limit what access it has. You
but
can,
that's
like,
not
we can't
AI.
do that, right? But from an enterprise setting, that's what you can do that with these type of
But
things.
that's still not AI, because AI is not that advanced. Even the one in Google isn't that advanced yet. It's still
No.
just comparing patterns. It's not actively creating something new.
Right. None
That
of this
makes
stuff is
sense.
actual AI. That's the thing. It's not.
But I think we should
They-
just go back to the question, because I think we wandered too much into AI.
Look,
Maybe we could just do a special about AI.
look. The thing is, we've never been as close to Terminator as we are now. So, cybernet,
We're on the edge.
we're going that way. We're right on that edge. It's until they learn how to kill us. Okay, that's the problem. They don't learn how to kill us.
Who likes that over there? You know that robot in the video that everyone's trying to kick and knock over, and it's one of those things that like keeps its balance. That's gonna be the one that turns first.
Yeah, they've been kicking me all my life. I'm gonna kick them back.
Don't worry. Trademark and patent for a new LLC called Skynet Technologies.
Yes, can't wait.
Mario Skynet. Oh god. Now,
That's the launch title for the Switch too.
yeah, or whatever it's going to be called. Yeah, I
I
just
mean,
think that
we do have Emio, right? Who's Emio? Maybe that's it.
yeah, I mean, Nintendo, as we all know, likes to do their own thing. They want to go their own way all the time. So I could see them never using generative AI. I mean, just the way they are. So that's just them. So we shall see.
We will see.
Yeah, we shall see. So next up, our topic of the show. Let's get to it, guys. So Game Pass. Good old Game Pass. Now, I love a friend of ours, Jez Gordon. over Windows Central. He has a great article on this, and I love how he leads into the article. There are three things true in life: death, taxes, and price hikes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I saw this coming from a mile away. We knew this was going to happen. I mean, it's happened before. Game Pass has raised their prices, but now we have this new tier, that's coming. It's like the Xbox, Game Pass standard, which now with the standard, you will not get day one games with it. So that's interesting. It's going to basically replace Game Pass for console, but existing Game Pass for console members, they'll still be able to have their existing, benefits and all. But yeah, I just, I don't know. I'm going to throw it to Carl first here, obviously, but I mean, I threw the Call of Duty guy here in the image because I think that's probably one of the main factors of why they decided to raise the prices, because of Call of Duty entering into Game Pass, and it looks like we're going to get a Call of Duty game finally in August into Game Pass. So I'll throw it to you, Carl, and maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on the new tier and what the new prices are going to be. But your thoughts on, excuse me, the main reason for these price hikes, other than Call of Duty. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I have to say I was wrong, and I didn't think they were going to raise the prices just this early, and a significant amount, I'd say. And it sucks. Price increases always suck when no one's happy about that. The value is obviously still there. Maybe some people might not see it the same way, but it still is, especially with the rising prices of all games, right? We might see games go even higher soon. Who knows? As far as reasoning goes, obviously Call of Duty seems like an obvious thing. That's a factor here. I'm sure it was part of the equation. I don't know that it's the only part or the most significant, because, like you said, everybody has been assuming that the price was going to go up. So, the rising cost of everything, right? Servers, development costs, the increasing competition in gaming, right? And then the fact that Game Pass isn't growing the way that they had hoped, or at least it was previously growing, right? They sort of reached a max capacity almost, it seems, on Xbox, right? And then they're still trying to get more PC and cloud stuff going, but it's not growing as fast as they need. And of course, if you don't have growth, that's where you got to make changes, right?
Right.
So you got to increase the price. Plus, they're also adding value soon. It didn't happen yet, but I very much think that we're going to see a very big Activision Blizzard, dump of games coming soon. If
like
not
that Bethesda dump that happened when they first were acquired.
They might, and there's been so much speculation, as to how they're going to release these Activision Blizzard catalog games. Mm-hmm. And very cynically right now, I'm thinking that they're like, we held it back because we knew we were going to raise the prices, and to, make people feel better about that. After we raise the price, we'll drop a whole, buttload of like Activision Blizzard games, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody was kind of, right. It seems like it makes sense, and I think it's cynical because it's very much like, haha, we're trying to make ourselves look good, but like, well, you could have just been dropping them like, sporadically over the last few months, but you didn't. I don't know why. So who knows? We'll see how it goes. But like, you're going to see it. There's already rumors and from good sources saying that next month you're getting some Activision games. Whether it's going to be one or two big ones or it's going to be a whole bunch, we don't know yet. And as far as the breakdown of what they're doing, right? I think it's pretty simple. A lot of people are like, this is super confusing, right? But like, when you break it down, you've got core, standard, ultimate, right? And you've got $10, $15, $20 a month. Pretty simple, nice steady increase. Core is your online services, right? Plus a couple of select games, right? Then standard is your online services plus the full back catalog.
Kind of like Xbox games with gold used to be. Yeah.
Well, that was core. That's what core is.
Core.
They changed the way the games are on it. But
right.
And then ultimate is, of course, everything. Online services, day one games, full back catalog, cloud, PC, right? You get the whole suite of everything with that.
So the standard is kind of like the EA type of EA access.
Yeah, this is exactly what EA and Ubisoft do. They've been doing this for a while, and
not two companies you should copy. Well, they're not very gamer friendly.
Another factor is that the data says that the majority of people are on Ultimate. So for most people, already looked at it and said, like, that's where the best value is, and that's where I want to be. So what I look at this as is them sort of opening up this other option for people who maybe didn't choose to get Game Pass yet, right? Because this is going to give you the online service you need for certain games, and it's going to get you this huge library of stuff. And the new games will come at some point, right? Maybe 6 to 12 months later, they will be on that service. You will have access to them eventually. And it's not certain yet. We don't know if third-party games are going to be day one. They specifically only said like Xbox stuff won't be day one, so we don't know. And I kind of feel like that will be maybe a contract choice. Like if an indie wants to be day one on standard, I don't think they're gonna say no to something like that. But we'll see. We don't know yet.
So Burley, I mean, my question to you and to a lot of other console gamers out there that might not use Xbox. I mean, when it comes to the price hikes for Game Pass, I mean, let's just say somebody does have an Xbox and they're contemplating getting this. I mean, is $20 still a good value for them to get this?
Well, it's going to be the depends thing here. You're going to sit there, you're going to play, and you're going to use it. Great value. You're easily going to get your money's worth. But if you're not, if it's someone you're going to play the odd game, like let's say when the big titles come out, you're going to like, okay, I'll sub for a month for Starfield. Okay, I got my Starfield time, unsub. Okay, I'll come back when Call of Duty's out and all that. It all depends on what games you're looking to play and how you're going to use this, how you use the service in the past, or how you use it when you first start and use it. Like, but the price increase, my thoughts, it's not surprising. We all were calling it and saying it was going to happen. Yeah, they waited enough time after the whole not E3 just to be gone and past to be like, okay, yeah, we're going to increase it. It's not surprising, like Carl mentioned, the growth, but they spent all this money on ABK. They need to they want to get a return on their investment, and they also, with this year being Call of Duty on there, day one on there, you want to get as many people that are gonna play Call of Duty on there. You want to get as much money as you can, because it's going to be interesting to see how much these sales are for this Call of Duty. Is it going to go down, let's say 5 million sales, because on the Xbox side, people aren't buying the game at all. They're just playing through Game Pass.
Well, return on investment. I mean, when you pay like what 60 plus billion, or for Activision Blizzard, I mean, it's going to take a long time to get that money back. But anyway, let me throw it to Fubu. Fubu, your thoughts on the price increases and all, and the new tier.
Well, first of all, I have something to show you, Carl. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Are you ready? So you don't say I'm a PlayStation boy and look what I got.
But you are.
Look,
Don't you?
Look
Look at that.
at that! I'm
That
gonna
is
give it a go.
sexy right there.
Right,
Wow.
that's sexy. It's sexy. Nah, I'm gonna give it a go. Look,
When are you gonna activate that? Next week
I don't know.
you got 3 games dropping.
I want to
pretty
see it. I want to
interesting.
see.
You
I
got,
want to see
you
it.
got Kunitsugami, you got Flintlock, and you got Dungeons of Hinterberg. So
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna save this bad boy for a good game. That's what I'm gonna do.
Avowed.
Maybe an Xbox exclusive.
Avowed.
Let's see.
Are you interested in
Avowed.
Avowed?
It was interesting. I didn't like what I saw. I think 1 month it's more than enough to do some nice stuff in the game. It was really
You
nice.
put a big dent in it for sure.
Leah, did you get
what-
him that Game Pass card? Yeah.
I did not. I have
No,
nothing to
okay.
do with this.
No,
He had nothing to do with it. All right. Yeah.
I would like to be excluded from this narrative, please.
no. Basically, I'm gonna say I ordered an Xbox controller for my best friend, and this came with the controller, and I stole it from him. He didn't give it to me. I stole it. I literally
Amazing
stole it from him. It was like, hey,
The
look,
truth.
it's like, I just said, okay, yeah, whatever. Anyway, when it comes to the price increase, considering the quality that Game Pass gives, I think it's something very good because I have to do the comparison to PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus had a price hike last year, I think, at the end of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And like people at the time were like, "Well, they increased the price. Let's hope they're gonna start giving good games." And I'm gonna be honest, like the first good month, it's this month that's coming. That we'll talk about this later, because it's been really, really bad. I haven't been using my PlayStation Plus to my full extent. Something that if I was an Xbox Ultimate user, I wouldn't have that problem because as soon as I got this, you know what I told my friends? I'm going to play Persona. I'm going to play the Persona 3 remake. That's what I want to play because that's a good game. I was going to curse, but I won't. That's a very, very good game. It lasts you a long time. You can take a lot of hours there. And there are other good games like Palworld. They give Palworld like when it came out on the console. That was huge. That was a very good game that you can have fun. For example, you have on PlayStation, I have Helldivers, which is not as good as it used to be because the community fell off. Why not give that game at the start, like with PlayStation Plus? I think that would have been something really good, especially because it's a Sony exclusive. I think that would have been something really good. So I think that the price hike on the Xbox, considering what they give the user, it's a fair price hike. The fear that I have as a gamer is that they increase the price and they lower the quality of their offer. That's where it gets bad. But if it continues giving very good first day games, I think it's justifiable to have that. And of course, I want the Blizzard games to be released as well. Maybe they can give us free subscription for World of Warcraft. Maybe you can play that on PC. Oh, sorry, on Xbox. That would be great. Like free. You have a Game Pass and you play that for free.
Yeah, I mean, they could do like Game Pass Ultimate Perks and give you something for World of Warcraft. And they should.
Exactly.
Maybe they will at some
An
point.
exclusive mount.
Yeah. Yeah. And the point about like value, right? I mean, we know that they're increasing the value just through, the acquisitions, right? Bethesda. Like if you look at next year, you're getting Doom, the Dark Ages, like that obviously wouldn't have been day one unless they bought Bethesda, right? That's a big thing. And we know also that, and it sucks, but like, because before these games weren't there, but all the studios they've acquired, right? All that's sort of coming to a head now. And these games are starting to come out, right? So because you have Avowed, you have Indiana Jones, then you have next year you have Fable, right? You got, we saw Perfect Dark, we saw State of Decay 3. They're showing us all of these things that are all going to be in Game Pass, and now they finally got this gigantic slate of games. So like, well, sorry, you got to pay more.
But will they all be multi-platform or exclusive or not? I mean, I think that's a big question now.
I think they're going to all be exclusive until later. if potential. But for now, I mean, all these games that are already announced as exclusive are exclusive, right? Until they port them maybe later, right? So you can't guarantee that they will be anywhere else.
Yeah, because that's I mean the stories going on between like the civil war within Xbox about whether or not games should be exclusive or multi-platform or not. That's an ongoing debate of whether or not the games will remain exclusive or not. So
yeah. And, obviously Call of Duty, right? You're going to get that every year, right? So that is increased value every year.
Yeah.
And I don't like the idea that if it was solely raising the price for Call of Duty, which if it is, that sucks because it's not for me, right? That's not for everybody in the service.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you can justify it, right? You can point to things that are going to increase the value. The Activision Blizzard back catalog is going to be massive, right? We're going to get all these other games, Diablo 2, 3, Prototype, and all the Crash games, all the Spyro games, all that's going to be on there eventually.
Yeah.
But like you said, with PS Plus, like they gave you nothing extra, and I know like they keep adding games, and this is a good month, but like the value proposition didn't change in any way. They increased the price, and seemingly they're giving you the same standard of quality, which is never really that high.
Look, for me, I think it got worse. For me, I don't know if it's the type of games they're giving. They don't suit me and suit someone else. That's very feasible. But in my opinion, I think the quality dropped. And sorry to repeat myself, but I haven't played that many PlayStation Plus games. Like what I finished today was Gotham Knights, and it already came out like a few months ago. I finished it today. I liked the game. Don't kill me, Burley. Leah, help me! He's choking me.
You're on your own, kid. Good luck.
Jesus. Jesus. This is what I call a friend. Screw you.
Master Sith Leah has spoken.
Oh, she's the acolyte. She's the acolyte. That's
Damn straight.
No, but, okay, continuing with the conversation. I personally think that the quality of game offering on the PlayStation Plus has declined. I think it's going to be interesting now because they're saying that they're adding more PS2 classics. They're going to start adding PS3 games. I think that's going to give some value again. But again, I want recent games. I would love to play Persona 3. I would love to play Persona Tactics. Like Leah gave it to me for the Switch. I've been loving the game, but I would love to play that game.
I just think the big difference between PlayStation Plus and Game Pass, and it'll always will be until PlayStation changes its stance, is that you get games day one.
Yeah.
Where you don't get that. You're never going to get God of War day one on PS Plus. You're never going to get Spider-Man day one on PS Plus. I mean, that's just.
But they're not even giving you them later, right? Most of these games don't ever come to the service, and some of them do,
like
and then they
3
don't
years
stay
later
there
or something.
Yeah,
right?
on like extra and premium, yeah. So.
And then they'll leave the service. Like, come on, like that's no one else is doing that because like at Ubisoft, EA, like they have the back catalog. You have access to the entire back catalog when you subscribe, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even Nintendo sort of does that with all their classic games, but they don't give you anything new. But but you know what really sucks? That's annoying is that both PlayStation and Nintendo charge you extra tier to get the like special classics, right? They're like PlayStation, you got to pay extra to get our really old games, and Nintendo's you got to pay extra to get our like mid-range old.
No. Okay, you calm down, Carl. Put yourself in your box. Because like Nintendo adds value because you have DLCs and passes that you can only get if you have the Nintendo subscription.
But you can't even use them if you don't own the game.
No, well, it's not. One thing.
But the thing is, they could just not give you that. For example, in Animal Crossing, you have the home paradise. They weren't forced to give you that, but because you have the subscription, they will give you that. Same thing with the Game Boy, and they could just be like, "Hey, buy this and get the multiplayer, which is the base one," and they won't give you anything else. and you don't have to pay like extra, I guess. Like you can have a family account. All in all, like the Nintendo Switch extra, if you say, or the premium or the subscription, kind of
Expansion
gives you
pass.
the expansion
Expansion pass,
pass
yeah.
gives
Yeah.
you great value for how much it costs a
I,
year.
I agree. I agree with her. Sorry,
I
I
mean-
agree with her. I'll explain why. Like you remember a few years ago, Nintendo was on the hunt, deleting all those ROM websites where you
Yeah.
can't download any more of the Nintendo games, and they're putting those all on the Nintendo the virtual store, where you can play them. Like if you want to play a Golden Sun nowadays, it's really hard to get a copy of that game. It was a really rare game. It was good, but where I live, it's really rare. And I used to have copies that disappeared, I don't know where. And like the Golden Suns already said that. And being able to play that game, again, this is personal. Of course, can be different from everyone else, but it adds a lot of value. If I didn't have the expansion, the subscription model, I would get the subscription model just to play the Golden Suns again. It gives a lot of value to the service, having these games that you can play. It would be nice to have like a Mario Party, like they give a recent game. That would be great. I wouldn't say that, but the fact that you can play games that almost disappear from the market and you can play them on your Nintendo Switch using that service, I think it gives a lot of value that PlayStation Plus and Xbox doesn't give.
I
Well,
had to
but-
defend Nintendo. I'm sorry.
But Xbox
Yeah.
gives you a similar value with their back catalog, right? It's just not as
Yeah.
old, right?
Not
It's
as old,
different.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But my response to Leah is that they are pricing it that way because that's as high as they can price it, right? Because they don't believe that if they charged more, people would want to get it because the value isn't that high, right? I'm saying that it is priced well, and the value is there for that price. But if they increased it to be anywhere near what PS Plus or Xbox Game Pass is, it wouldn't be anywhere near equal in value.
Oh, they'd be left out of the room for it. As
Right.
someone that does use their Switch and does online gaming with it, their online servers are horrible. There's so many, like in Mario Kart, disconnects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even if you can have a good internet connection, it's just their servers are just horrible. But one of the things, like, yeah, it's nice they add those DLCs into the expansion pass with
Yeah.
the Switch. But one thing you had wrong, Leah, though, is you can buy those. Like, I own the Mario Kart DLC. You can buy that
Yeah,
stuff
you
ahead.
can buy them separately, but if you have the subscription, you don't have to buy them. They just
Yeah.
come all included. So
Yeah, no, like,
it is
I'm
still
saying-
a good value for how much you're spending. Because
Yeah.
like you don't have to buy them separately. They just come with that one subscription. You're still saving money in that case.
Right.
Agreed.
But my point also was that value is cool if you own that game, but if you don't own that game, that's nothing. It's zero value to someone who doesn't own the game.
But that's a strategy because you're like, okay, we get this cool DLC. Okay, maybe it's time to get Mario Kart to play the cool DLC. It also works like that.
Well, see, now it's a sales gimmick. Oh, okay.
No,
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
That would be perfect if their games weren't so expensive. I was looking at
Right.
the other day at Mario Odyssey, and it's still going for like €60. That's almost brand new, and that game is already old. Let's be honest. But yeah, that would be a great strategy if they lower prices, even on the second-hand store.
If
Nintendo.
welcome to Nintendo World, Fubu, because that's like an unknown concept to lower prices when it comes to Nintendo.
It'll happen when the new one is out for a year. Then, as they're starting to wanting to get the stores get out their inventory of the Switch games and stuff like that. That's when you'll see the discounts. That's what happened with the Wii U. It's the same way with the Switch.
But like,
Yeah, Burley. Well, when the new Switch comes out next year, you'll probably see some price drops for some of those old.
yeah,
games,
but like,
yeah.
can you blame them? They're a company. They want to make money. Like Mario Kart still sold like 1 million copies last year or this year.
I know.
Still
Oh, no.
selling like crazy.
Right.
It's been
And-
out for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
and
been out since 2014 because it was on a Wii U game.
Yeah, but for the
His
Switch,
choices,
like,
his choices are all about making money, right? And I think
yeah, I
the
mean,
sort of
it
opposite
is what it
happens
is.
on Game Pass where they don't offer DLC, because the
Mhm.
idea is that you play the game on Game Pass and then you like it enough to then buy the DLC, so that there's a value add on top of that. Right? I think it'd be cool if they added a tier that gave you the DLC, because then you could play, like, let's say, the Outer Worlds, and then you have it on Game Pass, and you can then access all of the DLC. So everything is accessed through that service. But maybe one day there'll be a higher tier. I don't think they want to do that. There's
The
too many
super
tiers.
amazing tier,
Yeah,
gold
right?
edition, platinum,
Ultimate
Prime.
plus.
Yeah. So, Carl, there was also some rumblings this week about, and Xbox has, tried to shoot it down, that they're thinking of discontinuing console sales in certain regions and focusing more on the cloud gaming side of things and all. So, your thoughts on that? And I mean,
Wasn't the story marketing, not sales? Like, it was just marketing in certain regions, which, again,
that's
this was like
marketing. Yeah, I'm sorry.
This was a pretty vague rumor that there's the article said that they didn't have a strong source on it. They believe, like they put it out, I guess, enough to say, but I don't know. I don't really buy that. I think certainly
they're talking about Japan. They're talking about Japan.
No, they were talking about Europe. I think it was Europe, Asia, or not Asia, Africa.
So
what other areas?
most of the world except the US.
Europe,
in the
I think
Middle East,
Europe, Middle
in the
East,
Middle
and
East,
Africa.
yeah.
I think it was those areas. But and which may be possible because maybe sales aren't that good and they don't really see the reason to market. But again, this could also just be, we're not marketing now until next gen. Like, who knows? Who knows what the hell it is until we actually see something. Like, it's not really something that you can really put any stock into just yet.
Yeah. I know. I just, I think the future is non-console. Basically, it's going to be some type of a hybrid device, something that you can carry around. And
yeah.
I
don't
that's
like
that's what's
this,
coming, though. Yeah.
But I think if that is the future, I think Xbox still exists as like a PC sort of hybrid.
Yeah.
Like a branded sort of Xbox PC gaming device, right? Because they're sort of already aligned to do that. So, like, I think they would continue to do that, because then they can continue to sell accessories and things like that.
Right.
Have their store still exist and collect money.
So the Game Pass
microtransactions. Yeah, right. I mean, sir.
I mean, it's basically just the Switch, because everyone is just putting games on the Switch, right?
Look, it's
Switch
gonna
is
merge,
popular.
and it's gonna be a PS box.
A PS box.
I mean,
a PS box Switch.
Okay. All right. Let us know in the comments what you think of the Game Pass price hikes, and what tier is right for you when it comes to the Game Pass tiers and all. So, if you are a Game Pass subscriber, or if you're thinking of getting an Xbox and getting a subscription to Game Pass, so. Yeah, there you go, Fubu. Yeah, just the card that he's playing around with. Yeah. So. All right. So it's time to move on. So it's time to get to our new game. Actually, before we get to new game releases, let's go ahead and move on to PS Plus, because we were talking about Game Pass. Burley, Fubu, take it away. So what do we got for extra and premium this coming week?
Okay. I'm gonna go because Burley was so generous and he was giving to me, and so I'll start with Remnant 2, the standard edition. This game has a lot of DLCs, so this is like, buy the game, get the game, then enjoy the game and buy the DLC so you can continue. Basically, Remnant 2 is a sequel to Remnant 1. No spoilers there, I guess. And and
shocking.
Shocking. And oh my god. Anyway, it's a Souls-like game with guns. That's basically it. You can play solo, you can play co-op with two friends, and explore the depths of the unknown to stop an evil from destroying reality itself. To succeed, players will need to rely on their own skills and those of their team to overcome the toughest challenges and to stave off humanity's extinction. My tip for you guys: get a guy that knows how to play this and let him carry you. That's my tip for this game. Then, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Such a shame I already have this game. It was Leah. She gave me for my birthday. So thank you, Leah. It was a great game. I remember in January, I think we were saying that I was saying that this game should have come out at that time because Final Fantasy VII was coming out, the second part, and it would be a good time to release the game. Maybe they're putting this game now, so maybe some more people get into the story of Zack. But basically, Crisis Core is an upgraded HD remaster of the PSP hit. It's a prequel to Final Fantasy VII, in addition to all graphics being remastered in HD. Fully voiced dialogue and new soundtrack arrangement make for dynamic new retelling of a beloved classic. It follows the story of Zack Fair, a young warrior admired by the boy destined to save the world, trusted by men renowned as heroes of legend, and loved by the girl who holds the fate of the planet in her heart. The tale of Zack's dream and honor, the legacy that connects him to Cloud, is revealed in full in this grand saga that has broken the limits of an HD remaster. I really suggest that you play this game because this game is really, really good. But of course, I'm super biased when it comes to Final Fantasy. Then Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. This is I don't know a lot about this game. It has a medieval setting. It's an action RPG, and from what I know is usually action RPGs you go on yourself and you do everything. This one you have to go with your unit, or if you go by yourself, you're gonna die. You're not a superhuman on this one. Jackbox Party Pack. Burley, you do this on stream, right? You do
Oh
this
yeah,
on stream.
I
Talk about this
haven't
one.
I haven't done 9, but these Jackbox they're great. One person just has to have the game, and then everyone can join on in. They can just open up a browser on whatever device, even the Amazon Fire Stick's Silk browser can run this. Just go to jackbox.tv, you put in your name and the room code for whatever the game is, and people can join. These are always a good time. These are just sit there, have fun with friends, get a couple beverages, and just have some fun.
Great. No, it's just really good. I remember watching Burley play these on the stream, and it was really, really fun to see. Then Pathfinder Wrath of the Rightness. It's an epic RPG from the creators of the critically acclaimed Pathfinder Kingsmaker. I think I played that one. This one I haven't. I might give it a go. Explore the nature of good and evil, learn the true costs of power, and rise as a mystic hero capable of deeds beyond mortal expectations. Choose from 25 classes, 12 character races. So, the first 2 hours is creating your own character. That's how it's going to be. And enjoy 2 combat modes as you slay your enemies real time with pause or turn based. This is good for Carl. We'll switch between them on the fly so you can always take things as slowly or as quickly as you like. Then, this is something that really surprised me. No More Heroes free. Wasn't this a Switch exclusive? I have the idea this belonged to the Switch or something like that, or as Xbox. I remember this was like some type of exclusive somehow. I've never seen this on PlayStation. I don't remember.
I think it was a timed exclusive on other platforms for the first
okay,
year,
okay.
Yeah.
and then it came on other platforms because it wasn't
Okay.
selling as well, if I remember correctly.
Okay, but
Yeah, looking it
No
up.
More.
2021 Switch and then 2022 everything else.
Okay,
Yeah.
I knew it was exclusive. But No More Heroes Free follows the Otaku assassin Travis Touchdown as he takes up his trusty beam katana once more and slashes his way through 10 of the deadliest fighters in the galaxy. This is actually something that I'm interested in playing because I feel like this game, despite the fact it wasn't a hit, is like a cult thing. Like people like the game. Then you have Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes Complete Edition. I don't know. Is this like the first or second one? I'll be honest. I don't know this.
It's the first game. It's the because the first game originally came out on the Wii. It's
Okay.
it's just like a port with all other
Mm-hmm.
enhancements and all that.
Okay, that's good. So you play 1 and 3, but you don't play 2. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Then that craft. This is actually kind of interesting because you play as a half human, half zombie, and you have to survive in the zombie apocalypse. So this looks very interesting. It has a different take. Then Steep. This is a re-release of the game on the service. This is a Ubisoft game, and basically you play the winter sports, which I played when it came out first. It was actually interesting. Then PlayStation Premium, PSVR 2, and Classics. I'm not going to play this game because it's called Job Simulator, and I already have the job, so I don't need to play this one. But it's true.
I've actually heard that's one of the more fun VR games.
But in a world where robots have replaced all human jobs, step in the Job Simulator to learn what it was like to job. Okay. Players can relive the glory days of work by simulating the ins and outs of being a gourmet chef, an office worker, convenience store clerk, and more. Okay, yeah.
They should just change it into interview simulator.
and where the guys
I'm sure there is an interview simulator.
Yeah, it's a
It's
DLC
like
that's coming forward or something.
It's kind of like a silly, sort of cynical type thing. It's not like a literal simulator.
Yeah. Interview simulator where you don't have face-to-face interviews anymore. It's all online interviews.
Zoom calls.
Yeah.
For all 5 of you with the VR headset out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's for you.
Now, this is one of those that really, really, really hyped me. Summoner. Summoner was a PS2 action RPG. It was actually one of the first games that came out on the PlayStation 2. I used to play this game a lot when I was younger. I like it. The storytelling on this game, from what I remember, it has the complexity and interest of an early Dragon Age. It has a lot of choices, a lot of dialogues. It can always go a different route. What I remember about this game, it had crazy long loading times when you were going into battle. But this game is something that I like to use. You have your own team. You can summon, hence the name Summoner, right? You summon something to help you. But yes, in this PS2 action RPG, summoners have toppled empires and challenged gods with rings crafted by the ancient Kozani. The gifted can call forth demons, dragons, and elementals, but only the strongest can control the forces they unleash. Born with the mark of the summoner, Joseph possessed power greater than emperors and gods. As a child, he summoned a demon to save his village and watched in horror as those he loved were destroyed. 9 years later, the armies of Aurania invade, and Joseph must confront the prophecy he was born to fulfill. I really suggest, if you like RPG games, action RPGs, I really suggest playing this game. Then Ratchet & Clank Size Matters. This is
okay. Fubu, I was just gonna say, you don't have to read all the descriptions for every game. It'll take like 3 hours to do. So just name the games that are coming to the service.
I got something on the Ratchet & Clank one here.
Go first.
Yeah, this is the one on the PSP. This was the first of the games that was not done by Insomniac, whereas ex-Insomniac employees on this one. It's a good little game. Like if you're a Ratchet & Clank fan, check it out. But please know this is not one of the best entries in the series. But it is no Rift Apart, no Crack in Time. But I highly recommend checking it out.
Yeah. That's I was going to do. And finally, the last one, John Dark. This is based on the story of John Dark, and it has a plot twist. I'm not going to say which is, but this is in a fantasy world. So there's animals that speak. This game is a turn-based RPG. I played the hell out of this game on the PSP, and this is the game that I'm going to play first when this catalog drops. I'm going to download this, and I'm going to start playing this, and I'm going to play this game. It is one of the good ones, and it's very anime-inspired. So from all of these games that I told you about, this one should be your first choice to play. Not even Final Fantasy. Just go for this one. And it used to be a PSP exclusive.
All right.
Yeah, that one sounds cool that they're adding that. And the question I have for you guys who have this, can you buy these games
Yeah.
separately?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can buy them, and then
Mhm.
one of the nice things they actually have done is if back in the day when they were selling these PSP games and PS1 games, you bought them on the flash sale and stuff like that. You own them when they come to this service automatically, even if you don't have
Yeah.
premium or don't have any PS Plus.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So how much do you think this one will be? Something like this? Like I could just buy this on my PS4 digitally?
Yeah. This is
Probably
probably
like
about 10
50.
euros.
Yeah, I was going to say probably 10 to 15 US.
Yeah.
Maybe 19.99.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
cool.
All right.
Try it. You'll love it.
Yeah. So that is the PS Plus Extra and Premium for July. So awesome. All right. So next up, it's time to talk about our new game release picks of the week. So our new game release picks of the week for the week of July 15th through the 21st, you can go to releases.com to check out all the games that are coming this month and beyond. So www.releases.com. So first up for our picks of the week is Leah. Leah, your pick of the week
Okay,
is
my pick of the week is Darkest Dungeon 2, the
Nice.
eagerly awaited follow up to Red Hook's smash hit gothic horror RPG. Darkest Dungeon 2 will test your mettle and drive you to the brink of madness. Armor yourself with purpose and provision your party for the journey ahead. It will be arduous, and it will come out on July 15th. In multiple platform, I believe. So PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, I believe.
Switch? Yeah, please.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming to the Switch. I mean, it's already been out, but it's coming to the Switch now. So
Yeah, I've already beaten this game on PC. It's
No
really good.
spoilers.
I highly recommend it. It's very different from the first game, but well, not very, but like significantly different. I'd say.
Okay.
Mhm.
Looks fun. I've seen a lot of people playing this on stream. It looks really fun.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Really good game.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
the art style is beautiful, and the
Yeah,
combat
that-
animations are awesome.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Oh, that boss was freaking tough. I hated that boss with the eyes.
He's getting
Yeah.
flashbacks to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, my game. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, sweep the board.
Oh, it's
So
coming out.
in Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, sweep the board, players will explore a dynamic world designed like a board game. Each board features memorable locations from the Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba anime, including Mount Fujigasane and Asakusa. As the time of day changes from day and night, the spaces of each board changes, bringing new events and opportunities for players to discover. So it's coming out on July 16th, Xbox Series X, Series S, Xbox One, PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5.
I
It's a
love
Mario
this.
Party like game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Look at
thinking
that.
that.
Yeah,
Hey, that's cool. Whatever. I like
that's
that.
good stuff. Yeah.
Don't make it full price, please.
Yeah.
It can't be, right?
No, I think not.
You never know.
So good stuff. All right. So next up, Burley, I think you're up next. What do you got for us?
My pick of the week is Flock. Flock is a multiplayer co-op game about the joy of flight and collecting adorable flying creatures with your friend. Soar through beautiful landscapes, seeking out rare and elusive creatures to add to your flock. Is coming July 16th to Xbox Series, Xbox One, PS4, PS5, and PC. Just the art style I love this art style.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, this one on the Game Pass.
Really beautiful.
Day one Game Pass.
I really like this publisher company, game company. They make really cool games, really different and interesting games.
Yeah. It's beautiful. You can travel the world. That's nice.
So I think they're the same company that made Pathless, I believe.
Oh, Pathless is good.
Yeah.
Annapurna. Yeah.
Yeah, Annapurna
Oh,
is
yeah.
really, really good. So
Very colorful.
great studio. So, yeah, good stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. So Fubu, you're up next. What do you got for us?
Okay. So, Bow Path of the Teal Lotus. Flow with acrobatic grace and agility through the mysterious world of myth and legend in Bow Path of the Teal Lotus. A colorful hand-drawn adventure inspired by Japanese folklore. Undertake a mystical journey as Bow, a celestial blossom, folk-themed Tamahana. You can say that better than me. Descended from the heavens to fulfill the mysterious ancient prophecy. Use your legendary bow staff to bounce and glide fluidly through an other world. It comes out July 18, PC, PlayStation 5, Switch, and Xbox Series X. The first thing, I'm very proud of us today because we chose a lot of artistic games and all different. So I'm very proud of us. I like this game. I do enjoy Japanese mythology. I do like platformers and side scrollers. So this game would be perfect for me to play. I enjoyed everything that I saw from this game, and it should be a must go. It looks really fun, and the fact that the art is hand drawn, it's something that you don't see usually nowadays. It reminds me a lot of Cuphead, which is also hand drawn, so it gives that feeling. I really liked it, so it was love at first sight when I saw this game, and I had to pick it up.
Are there Tengu in this game?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Do you know what a Tengu is?
I know.
It's called in
those
English.
Enemies from Metal Gear, right?
Well,
no, it's
no,
not that one.
Tengu are in English. They're called wood goblins.
Okay.
Wood goblins. Yeah. Yeah, in Japanese, in Japanese mythology, they're a mysterious, force in Western Japan. So,
Okay.
they always have wings, right? And they have that like the long nose and
yes, that's right. Yeah, they're basically in legend. They are responsible for training Minamoto no Yoshitsune, who was one of the of the Genpei War back in the 12th century. So he learned how to fight, from the Tengu. So that's the legend. Good stuff. All right, Carl, you're up next. What do you got for us?
I have Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess.
Yep, like we saw in the intro. Yes.
July 19th. PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, PS4, PC. Fend off foul creatures and lead the Spirit Stone Maiden on her path. Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess is a title which upholds Capcom's legacy of original and innovative works. This labor of love follows in the tradition of truly unique titles such as Okami and Shinsekai Into the Depths. Explore an incredible world in which traditional Japanese aesthetics are brought to stunning life by the power of the RE engine. Enjoy a unique gameplay experience blending action and strategy. Witness an epic clash between the spirit realm and mortal man.
Yeah. Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, this was, looks like a pretty cool game from Capcom. This was shown off, revealed at one of the Xbox conferences, and it's Day 1 Game Pass. So I'm curious. I want to try this. Hopefully, I found the time to jump into this.
Yeah, I believe there is demos out of this. So
yes,
if you do want to try this, you have the chance to. And try it ahead.
And there were two other games. Like this is a packed week because there's Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn and also Dungeons of Hinterberg next week.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those are also on Game Pass. So I mean. Day 1, so there's a lot of games to play this week, especially if you
and no time.
I know, yeah.
Yep.
So this looks what semi open world. It looks like, kind of.
Yeah, I think it's like you have this area that you can roam around and like do stuff, and then you like plan like a strategy, and then you have to like sort of defend from attacks, and then there's this action combat gameplay.
Yeah,
it's definitely a weird hybrid of genres.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure will make it a very unique game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's like we talked about it a few weeks ago. It reminds me a lot of Onimusha.
Yeah, it definitely has stuff similar.
Yeah, so all the different
We'll
combats.
see how it goes.
Good stuff. Alrighty. So those are our picks of the week. Yeah. So you can go to releases.com and check out all the games that are coming for the rest of this month and beyond. www.releases.com. So you can check those out. All right. Good stuff. All right. So next up, it's time to talk about our programming notes. So, of course, each and every week we talk about some of our other videos that we do here on the Arena Productions. So we are not only just video games and game development related, we also do entertainment and pop culture related videos here on the Arena Productions. So first up, I did our recap and review of the week's episode of House of the Dragon, The Dance of Dragons. So we finally got some dragon action, guys. So in this episode, so yeah, and another cameo from Millie Alcock again. Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
I don't want to say what goes on in the scenes that she's in, but yeah, I mean, we got another cameo from her, and we got some pretty cool dragon action. So please check out the episode and then come and check out our recap and review of House of the Dragon. So next episode is on Monday, or actually Monday my time here in Japan, but Sunday for most of you out in the West. So
Tomorrow.
Yep, tomorrow. Looking forward to it. So
Yeah.
And next up on the Star Trek side of things, Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, Episode 3's recap and review. So I've got that up. I'm doing the entire season is already out on Netflix. You know how Netflix is; they dump the entire season right away. But I figured I would make one episode recap and review each week for the season. So so please check that out. We've got we've got Janeway, we've got Chakotay, we've got the Doctor, we've got a lot of the group from the Voyager series in it.
The Doctor.
This group.
He was always my favorite.
He's in season 2. So he's like one of the regular crew members. So good stuff.
This is just like Voyager sequel.
Kind of like with these new groups of like cadets in waiting. So it's a really fun series. It's really good actually. So it's ranked of all the Star Trek series, it's ranked the highest right now, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes. So
Wow,
it's good stuff. Yeah. So Star Trek Prodigy. Yeah, check it out. Next up on the Star Wars side of things, Star Wars: The Acolyte. Yes, the penultimate episode called Choice. Our recap and review, so that I did for this another flashback episode.
I have a complaint about this episode.
Okay, but no spoilers, please. Yes.
No spoilers. No. I'm trying to find it. It was called the Rashomon episode, right? Where you see from a different perspective, and I was expecting to see a more different perspective. What happened was, because there's no spoilers again, there's one scene where you see on the third episode, one of the mothers is being like super nice, and then on this episode you see from Soul's perspective and she's being super mean. That was the only Rashomon thing that I saw in my opinion in the full episode, because there's a scene later that it happened exactly as the same on the third episode, but he got late, so he got the bad parts. If you want, it's hard to talk about without spoiling, but they were promising this episode to be something this important, but I found it to fall very flat. No, it's not working for me. Only episode 5, and it's because of the fight.
Well, I thought the fight in this episode was my favorite in the entire series.
Okay.
We finally got to see, I'm not going to spoil anything, but something in action that I wanted to see from the inception of this show.
it was a hairy situation, and no, it was a
And I see what you're saying. Yeah, like it was a lot more of like, oh, we just didn't show you this stuff, right? Like here's more information we kind of just left out because it was always weird the way they did it in the previous episode. These are my two favorite episodes. This one 3 and this is 7.
Yeah.
I like this backstory. I think this is more interesting than anything that's happening in the current timeline. And that's kind of like my problem with the show right now is that, we have one more episode.
It's got pacing issues. I mean, I'm like, the way things are going, they're going to have to do a season 2.
Yeah, and it's not guaranteed yet, I think.
Not guaranteed yet. No.
Like, I don't really care what's going to happen in the next episode because it doesn't feel like there's something major I care to resolve at this point. Like the most interesting stuff was like this that happened in the past, and the main villain. By the way, I mean so far, and maybe we'll get something right, but so far there is no indication of him having any relation to anything else we've seen in the past, right?
Yeah, but no spoilers. But I mean, we might not have met the main villain yet. That's the problem.
I get it, but like that. But then who cares, right? Because we can introduce a new villain in the last episode. That's like
they can't do that, man.
I'm not gonna care then, right? Yeah.
Aren't like the main villains the Jedi? Isn't kind of the point of?
You could look at it that way for sure.
Yeah, you could look at it that way.
Definitely, yes.
That was kind of what I got from it.
Yeah, because I mean, they're making it, like very, very clear in this series that the Jedi are not perfect.
Yeah.
I
thought it was very interesting, the mistakes they made, but like the way it played out, I'm like, it seemed plausible enough. Not that it had to happen that way, but like I think it's fine. I just think that they should have just made the show chronological order, like just showed these episodes first and like built this idea up, and then we go to the future and we see what happened to these characters instead of like just this guessing and then, oh, by the way, here's the story, and like, but why is it relevant to tell me now? Right.
Yeah, and I mean, just when it comes to the time of these episodes, I mean, they're like 30. I mean, the last episode was 44 minutes, I think it was, but the episodes before that were like, if you don't count the credits and everything, like 28 minutes to 30 minutes long. It's just way too short, So
because like The Boys, for example, which we're gonna get to, right?
Yeah, over an hour.
The last episode was like 65 minutes, and I was like, and I saw that as I brought it up, and I'm like, I know every minute's gonna count. I know that this is gonna be dense, and it's gonna be super interesting, and I don't get that from most of these Star Wars shows, which is unfortunate. I think Andor was that exception, where I think it was meaty episodes,
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to when we do the roundtable discussion at the end of the season. So, of course, next week is the season finale. Hope maybe we'll have a season 2. We shall see. But let's go ahead and get to that. The boys. Yeah. So the Insider recap and review. You can check out my recap and review of that. Oh, man, another. Great episode.
Such a cute thumbnail. If you don't know what goes behind that, then you're cute.
I always think before I make these thumbnails about what was the part of the episode that just stood out to me the most, in that sense. So, I just threw that one in there. Yeah. So, you're the bee's knees. But like you were saying, Carl, I mean, it's like every minute counts, and like each episode's been like pretty much over an hour. So, and next week is the season finale. So, looking forward to it. But, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but this was another great episode. So,
look, this is the perfect show to tell people not to jump the gun, because they were all saying on the first 3 episodes that came out, oh, it's not as good as the other seasons, and it's whatever, right? Dude, this season, like, okay, it started slow because they needed to build up. They needed to build up new stories. people were not patient with that. It was necessary to build up this. Okay, the first 3 episodes, they were fine, nothing extraordinary, they were fine, but the second half of the season has been so good, so good. It's such a good show.
Yeah.
This season is another great one. Yeah, I wouldn't put it any higher or lower than the other. It's like this show is just incredible.
Yeah, it's
all
a
the
great
way
one.
through.
Yeah.
There really is just that. It's just the factor of the American political conservative group who are now just realizing like they were making fun of you the whole time. Like this season is less subtle about it since it's very in your face. Like that whole puppet show thing. I was like, wow, they're really just going after them. It's like really.
They're the meme. They're the meme. Oh wait, is this show about us?
Yeah,
That's meme, right?
Yeah.
Well, remember,
because
if you see something, say something.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like this is
Because
really
I mean, season 5, the final season's not going to come out before the election. So I mean, they're just going all out right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's politically very clever, that sequence, right? Of like the type of language that they're using and the context that they're doing it in, like a kid's show, just makes you realize how wrong a lot of that stuff is. And
yeah.
I mean, if you agree with those type of ideas, you're probably not going to like what you're watching.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the actor that plays Mother's Milk, he was saying that he would like season 5 to end on a cliffhanger, and then they make a movie. So
I heard that.
Yeah, he was.
And Anthony Starr is all behind that. He says, "Give me a Homelander movie."
He wants all the money.
And the other series too, the kind of the spin-off series, Gen V. I wonder if any of when season 5 ends, if any of that'll spill over into Gen V or not.
Yeah, it's the same universe. I think it's going to spill a little bit.
I'm thinking about jumping into that because as I'm watching this season, I'm like, oh yeah, I never watched that. I really should because this is awesome
good.
and I want more.
Good stuff.
I'm not gonna spoil anything. Of course, I want to spoil anything, but I'm telling you now. Anthony Starr with 30 seconds of screen time steals the whole show. 30 seconds was enough to be the best thing that and the show was good. Don't get me wrong.
He shows up in Gen V. Okay.
Yeah, he shows up. Yeah.
What's the timeline of that?
It's between season 3 and season 4.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So that blonde girl that showed up with the other guy, and they're doing a series called Flip. They're 2 of the main characters of Gen V. It was last episode, not from this week, the other one, when they were making fun of D23 or something. They were showing all the show. The girl, the blonde girl, and the other guy. They're 2 of the main characters.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, good stuff. So please go and check out my recap and review of The Boys, season 4, episode 7, titled "The Insider." Good stuff, man. Awesome stuff. Yeah. All right, so it's time to talk about the games that we're going to be playing this coming week. I'm still working on Nier, Replicant. So I'm working on that game. Carl, what are you going to be playing this coming week?
I don't know. I mean, the only thing I've really played was Zone Zero, and I'll probably play more of that because I'm playing it on my phone. When I have random time, I'll go to bed and I'm like, oh, I'll play a little bit of it.
Carl, may I? Carl.
Yeah.
You connect your PlayStation, you buy Jeanne of Arc, put remote play on your mobile phone, and just play the hell out of that game. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay. I could break out the PSP, download a ROM.
Too much work, man. Too much work.
No.
And also illegal. We don't do illegal stuff.
Right. What am I talking about?
We don't do illegal stuff. No, I don't know.
I got my second S rank character in Zone Zero. I'm very, very excited about that.
Oh yeah, I need to go back to that. I downloaded the game, played a little bit, really enjoyed it. Really good.
Leah, what are you going to be playing this coming week?
Sea of Stars.
So still playing that. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
I just got to the island before we get to
Which
the
one?
eclipse.
Did you get
No,
to Did you get to Burley's grave yet?
Oh yeah,
I don't
Burley
think
has a
so.
grave.
Where's Burley Gray?
You'll
Where-
know. You have to. Yeah, they tell you about the graveyard at
Yeah.
a
Oh,
certain point in the story.
okay. I just arrived to the island where there's like this monster mind controlling people,
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
and we're
that's good.
waiting on the eclipse. And Garl got mind control. I'm going to save him now. That's kind of where I am right now.
Nice.
Will you save him? That's the question.
Of course, because I'm the best. They're the best.
That's. Did you hear that laugh? Did you hear that laugh? That's a lot of surprises. That game's so good.
Fubu, what are you going to be playing?
Jean of Arc.
Okay.
That's the one.
Hey, Burley.
Paper Mario. I'm getting close.
Still,
I'm on the
still
second
Paper
to
Mario.
I'm on the second to last chapter, so I want to finish that up.
Nice. Yeah. Any extra takes in the near future?
Yeah, well, I did just get Luigi's Mansion 2 just came in from PlayAsia, so
Nice.
I'm hoping over the next couple of days just to play a little, just to get quickly make a quick extra take
Cool.
on that.
All right. Look forward to it. Yeah.
I can make an extra take on Jean of Arc. That's good.
Oh my god.
It's good. I'm telling you guys, it's really
All
good.
right. All right. So I want to thank all of you for joining us, and of course, this video will be up on the Arena Productions here on YouTube in video on demand. So yeah, thank you so much for all of your support and watching our content here on the Arena Productions. And so it's time to end our show. Yes, with our indie recording artist spotlight. So, of course, each and every episode we have an indie recording artist and their music with our outro to finish the show. So this week's spotlight is on C.K. Martin. So the majority of Martin's music revolves around orchestral and cinematic scoring, but he also occasionally composes acoustic, indie, rock, alternative pop, and inspirational movements. From the title song of his album called The Edge of Time. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 178. I've been your host, Expat, along with our full crew today, Burley of Burleyman Gaming, Turn-Based Carl, Fubu87, and Leah the Hatless. We hope to catch you in the next one, and let's hope the music works in the outro, which didn't happen in the intro. So anyway, take care, everyone. Have a great week of gaming, and we hope to catch you next week in episode 179. So take care, and have a great week, everyone. Peace out.